Hi, it's Maria from Still Dreaming Homestead, and I have Gracie with me today. So, tonight's the night for our Bible story, and we've been reading about miracles. Miracles. Those are things that cannot naturally happen. So, we've been reading a lot about Elisha, the prophet. So, I'm going to read this one. Elisha purifies a deadly stew. Have any of you ever eaten stew? Yeah, it usually has vegetables, sometimes meat. It's very yummy usually. And Elisha came again to Gilgal. There was a famine in the land. That means there was not enough food for people. And as the sons of the prophets were sitting before him, he said to his servant, "Set that large pot on the fire and boil stew for the sons of the prophets." One of the men went out into the fields to gather herbs, and he found a wild vine and gathered from it a whole lapful of gourds. He didn't really know what they were. And I do want to say, if you ever go out and are gathering wild foods, don't eat anything you don't know what it is. Lots of times you can ask somebody else. And they poured, and he came and cut them up into the pot of stew, not knowing what they were. And they poured out some for the men to eat. But while they were eating the stew, they cried out, "Oh, man of God," that's what they called Elisha, "there is death in the pot. This is a poisonous stew." And they could not eat it. And he said, "Bring some flour." And he threw it into the pot and said, "Pour some out now for the men so that they can eat." And there was no longer any poison in that pot. God had done another miracle. Now, a man came from, this is a long name, Baal Shalisha, bringing the man of God bread of the first fruits, 20 loaves of barley, and fresh ears of grain in his sack. And Elisha said, "Give it to the man that they may eat." But his servant said, "How can I set this before 100 men? 20 little barley loaves," so that they were more like biscuits. But he said, "I'll tell you again, give it to the men that they can eat. For thus says the Lord, they shall eat, and there will still be some left." And so he put it before the men, and they ate all they wanted, and there was some left, according to what the Lord had spoken. God always keeps his promises. And sometimes he asks us to do things that don't seem natural, like still serving food that had been poisonous, or feeding a big crowd of people with just a little bit of food. But with God, all things are possible. I want you to remember that. So this is Maria from Still Dreaming Homestead. I want to pray blessings on you, on yours, in your house, out of your house, in the day and in the night. And whatever you do, keep dreaming. Good night. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I'm trying to grow my channel. I have, I think, 331 subscribers, and I'm hoping by Christmas to have 350. All right. Good night.